Hello, welcome to my channel where I taste and rank different types of alcoholic beverages. Today I'll be doing a spirits tasting, trying 5 different types of brandies. Specifically, I'll be trying 3 American brandies and 3 French brandies. This tasting is strictly my opinion, so there is no right or wrong answers, just where I would rank these guys based off the taste. I'll also be doing this tasting just not on its own, but also adding an ice to seeing and comparing what they'll taste like after it's been sitting in the ice for a little while, and then ranking it. With that said, let's get started. Alright, so these are the 5 brandies I'll be trying. So basically it's going to be E&J's will be our American brandies, and Paulet, which will be our French cognacs, which are brandies. This will be more of a comparison because when I go through these, there's a significant price difference on these guys we'll see if pricing makes the biggest difference as well. Because E&J is known to be some of the least expensive brandies out there, while French cognacs typically are a little bit more pricier as we go through this. Alright, so the first one we'll be trying is going to be E&J VS. So I bought these little small bottles, which are pretty inexpensive for trying these guys. But then usually for this one, the E&J VS, the regular size bottle goes for $9. Color on that. Wow. There's a lot of heat on it. It definitely is not pleasantful for the heat wise, for the alcohol, but taste wise it's very sweet. It's actually not bad. If it didn't have so much heat to it, it tastes a lot better. Another thing to note with this, so brandy is typically made out of grapes, but can technically be made out of anything. So brandies are almost like a fortified wine. This one, the E&J's, this one specifically tastes a lot more like apples, honestly. It's like a very sweet apple, which is quite interesting. But it definitely is enjoyable. If it just wasn't so hot and from the alcohol, it tastes pretty decent. But yeah, alright. So for now, I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to add my ice to it, let it sit for a little while, and move on to the next one. Alright, next I have is the E&J Brandy VSop. So I couldn't find a small bottle of this guy, so I have the bigger one. But even then, this was pretty cheap. This is only $5. The bigger bottle for this one goes for about $10. So again, this is supposed to be the upgrade versus the VS. VS usually stands for very special. VSop stands for very special old pale. You know, just for a few extra bucks comparing to the VS to VSop, this is significantly better. The burn is still there, but it's not as present as the VS. So it doesn't burn as much, but it's still there. But taste-wise, it's much sweeter. So definitely, if you're looking for something sweeter, this will definitely do it for you. You get a lot of that vanilla. Again, this one more of an apple flavored and a caramel. So it's almost like a caramel apple, honestly. Again, overall, this is not bad. Again, what would make it really amazing if the burn just wasn't there. If it wasn't so hot, it definitely would be more amazing. But for now, I'm going to set it aside, add the ice, and move on. So next I have is E&J XO. So these guys, so this is their extra old, is what XO stands for. So it's supposed to be their highest quality one. So again, the small bottle costs like $2, but then usually the bigger bottles, the 750, goes for $12. So you're talking about a $9, $10, and $12 bottle difference. So it's like not very big difference on these guys, but let's try it. Color on that. And as you go up, definitely the alcohol definitely goes away. The burn on it is still there, but it's very non-existent. So comparing it, the VS, the burn was noticeably there, was not enjoyable. The VSOP, the burn slightly disappeared, but still noticeable toward the end. And this one, it's almost non-existent, but just a tad bit at the very, very end. Once you swallow it, you get a little bit, but it's actually really nice. I will say though, instead of getting the apple flavor like I got for the first two, I'm getting just a lot more caramel, vanilla taste to this one. Which is not bad, definitely delicious. It's very good. It's very enjoyable. If you're on a budget, for the extra few bucks, you might as well just get the XO, just because it just tastes that much better. It's easier to drink, and less burn of the alcohol. And all these guys are 40%. Alcohol, so there's no big difference on the alcohol on these guys. All right, moving on. These are the French ones. The first one is going to be the Paulet VS. So these are again cognacs, which are the French version of brandies, coming from the Cognac region of France. So now with cognacs in France, there are rules and regulations. In America, you could call anything a VS, VSOP, and XO. There's no regulations on what they do with it. Those are just names they put on. But then for VS, they're very strict on what they call VS, VSOP, and XO. So just knowing that this is a VS, it has to be aged, I believe, 3 years. VSOP is typically, I think, 5, and then like XO is like 7+. Again, don't quote me, but that's something along those lines. Again, I don't quite remember, but with those laws, because it has to be aging those long, the quality of the guys are supposed to be, better, technically. So we'll see. So this guy, the VS for the Paulet, regular size bottle goes for $25. The small little one was about $3. Hold on that. Very interesting. So the alcohol in it is going to be similar. This is more similar to the VSOP of the E&J. The alcohol is very subtle. Still has a little burn, but not as heavy. Taste-wise, it's not as sweet though as the E&J's. This guy is going to be a little bit more is towards oaky sweet. Almost reminds me of a whiskey, like a Scotch. It's not bad, but if you're looking for something sweeter, definitely the E&J is much more sweeter than this. But if you're just looking for something more like of the Scotch side or the whiskey side, this will definitely be more enjoyable for most people on those sides, because it does have a little bit of that oaky vanilla taste to it, but not overly sweet. But it's not bad. All right, and this is going to be the Paulet VSOP. So this guy was $6 for the small little bottle, and the regular size bottle goes for $45. So now we're talking from a 25 to 45. They also do make a XL, which I did not get today because they didn't have it in a small bottle. They only have it in the big bottles, and that goes for $90. On this one. Ooh, this was a little bit different for the VS. I like the VS a little bit better. The VS finished a little bit better than the VSOP. The VSOP, I think, had a little bit of a more burn to the taste to it when you swallowed it. Taste-wise, it is a little bit sweeter, but still very close to that Scotch whiskey side, where it's just more oaky and more, and less sweet than anything. Again, it's not bad. It's definitely good in its own way for being cognac, but I would expect it to be a little bit more sweeter, being that it is a French cognac. All right, I'm gonna add the ice to this and move on. All right, I'm gonna go back to the E&J VS. So the ice, There's a new color to it to make it a little bit more brighter, almost like a golden color. Taste wise, the alcohol is still there. It's very prominent still. It's not as sweet, it's more mellowed out. Again, it's not bad, but being what it is, it's I don't enjoy it. This guy, I'm gonna give it a D. It probably could be better, but then, you know, going up from the other ones, I'm expecting a lot more flavor from the other guys, just because, you know, it is better quality as it was going up. So here's this. I love the color on these guys because as it, you know, as it melts, it becomes like a golden apple, golden yellow color. This one smells fantastic, honestly, too. Now this is the E&J VSop. This guy down over here. This one, honestly, it reminds me of eating a caramel apple. It with the ice added onto it, it brought out more sweetness, more flavor. The aroma definitely popped out more when I smelled it once I brought it to my nose. It still has alcohol burn to it, but very light because of the ice. It kind of cooled it down. But overall, like this, the smell of it, the taste of it reminds me of a caramel apple. Surprisingly, I did like this one a lot. I just wish the alcohol was a little bit more mellowed down. But overall, I would give this one a B. Alright, next I have is the XO E&J. This was very nice smell too. So now this one, like I said before, didn't have that caramel apple smell or taste. But the smell on it smells more like a caramel apple now after adding the ice. Taste wise, it doesn't taste like caramel apple, but it definitely does have a lot of caramel flavor to it. It's definitely strong in the caramel and the vanilla aspect. And the alcohol is with the ice, the alcohol actually brought more of the alcohol flavor to it. So it doesn't taste, it doesn't burn, but you could feel the alcohol taste to it. Yeah, this was actually really good too. I did definitely enjoy this one. Again, this one I rank a B as well. Flavor wise, it's on point. You know, it's sweet. It's very enjoyable. You know, more of that dessert spirits. Taste wise as well, like it's very easy drinking. I just wish that these guys just didn't taste so boozy. Typically, though, some of these more expensive ones, they don't, you know, that alcohol taste usually flows out. But then it just, and the burn just goes away. But, you know, overall, again, it's not bad. At least it doesn't have the burn. That's one plus side about it. All right, this is the VS Paulet. This one's very interesting. It's very, very pleasant on the taste. It's very smooth, very easy drinking. There's no burn to it at all. You know, adding the ice actually helped this one a lot. It brought out more flavors to it. Again, this one doesn't remind me of a brandy or a cognac. It reminds me more of a scotch, but its own way, it was it's quite delicious. This one I would also rank a B as well. Overall, again, it's not as sweet as the E&J's, but it does have flavor that does help it. The ice helped it a lot. Without the ice, I don't think I would rank it a B. I would rank it a C. But with the ice, it definitely brought more flavors to it that helped along this the spirit. All right, last one is the VSop. Same with this one. The ice brought out so much more flavor. It's booming with flavor, honestly. It's so much sweeter than it was before. The alcohol taste is almost non-existent. It's just not there. You know, there's no burn to it at all. It's very, very smooth. Same with this one. The ice is what saved it. You know, having the ice in there, having it chilled, having it melt down a little bit. It brought more flavor and brought down the alcohol flavor taste so that it's not there, so there's no burn. It's so much easier to drink. It's also a little bit smoother as well, a little bit sweeter. But again, very similar to the first VS. It is more of a Scotch like style. It has a lot of that sweet oaky taste to it. But it was very enjoyable. I did like this one a lot. And this is the most expensive one. This is the $45 bottle. You know, if you were to get the regular size, again, small bottles, only $7, $6-7. But overall, I'd rank this one an A. I definitely enjoyed it a lot with the ice. Again, same with this one. I probably would rank it a B if I tried it alone. But with the ice, it just helped it so much. It brought out so much more flavor to it. You know, that's what ice will do to you. You know, having something cold or a little bit of water will definitely change the flavor a lot. I could bring a lot more flavors to these whiskeys or to cognacs and brandies. Anything that's a brown spirit, honestly. All right, guys. Well, this is my ranking and list for brandies. What do you guys think? Have you guys had these before? Where you guys would rank these guys? If there's anything you guys would like me to try, let me know. Leave a comment. Other than that, thank you for watching and cheers.